If you're a 2000s kid, Jack Black was definitely in some of the movies that you watched growing up. Now, I was never a huge fan of Jack Black for no particular reason. You know, some actors you connect with, some not as much. But over the past year, Jack Black has made some controversial decisions that has definitely caused some fans to turn on him, and he's had to make some apologies for these different controversies. These range from nothing burger to something burger, but in my opinion, the thing that made me just draw the line, I'm like, no more Jack Black shenanigans, was his appearance in the Minecraft movie trailer.
Who are you?
I'm What'd you do? What happened?
Brother, if I'm Jack Black and I get chosen for that role, I'm like, yeah, you know what? After further consideration, I've decided that I should not play this. I got no business playing Steve, let alone collecting a check pretending to be him.
Jack Black is a national treasure. We must protect him at all costs.
Okay, all costs is pushing it. He can be protected on a situation-by-situation basis. If this guy gets captured in Russia on some Brittany Griner shit, y'all can keep him, bro.
Comments such as this were normal just 1 year ago, but after a string of unexpected controversy, he's not only losing thousands of followers, but every Jack Black comment section is flooded with negativity.
I will say though, anybody who's like, Jack Black, you just lost a fan, had to have been a theater kid growing up. Like, this is their dramatic exit. These are the kinds of people that will make a big fuss and leave the group chat, but start panicking if they're not added back within 15 minutes.
There was nothing controversial about him. In a Reddit thread asking about the most beloved celebrities, one of the top comments was Jack Black. He's just such a lovable guy, how could you not like him?
I'm not trying to nerd out here, but this is just a circular argument. The guy says Jack Black is so lovable, and then his supporting claim is, how could you not agree with my conclusion? Alright, fuck it, I'm gonna nerd out. This is called a negative presupposition fallacy. The claim is implying that the default position is to like Jack Black, so if you don't like him, that needs to be explained, or you have to justify it, or that it's unusual. When for myself and many others, there's no strong negative or positive emotion toward Jack Black. And there are some things where I feel like saying, oh, how could you not like this is, you know, kind of fair. Like, how could you not like pizza? Like, literally everybody loves pizza, but Jack Black is not pizza, or he's not the actor equivalent of pizza.
So when he'd faced his first controversy roughly 2 years ago, his audience was generally forgiving. Jack Black had shown his support for a charity named Autism Speaks. Articles explained in 2013 he hosted an Autism Speaks benefit, and in 2015 performed at the Lighted Up Blue Autism Speaks fundraiser. In 2018 he'd promote the charity via Twitter.
It does take balls to wear that shirt under a blazer. Like, that, what in the Temu? The problem is that it actually works. Like, that's the main issue. I don't know if it's just him or if it's like a weird aura. With everybody else, this is 1000% a wardrobe malfunction. With Jack Black, he kind of got that shit on, I can't even lie. Anyway, Sunny V2 goes on to explain how Autism Speaks has had a history of controversy for trying to cure autism instead of making people live with it, and they apparently hate autistic people, etc. Now, the point is, with this, I don't think Jack Black bears much responsibility for that. I mean, at least intentions-wise, I think you're gonna have a hard time convincing me that a dude raising money for an autism charity actually, like, secretly held the same anti-autistic views as the people behind the charity. So at the beginning of the video, when I said these range from nothing burger to something burger, I would say this was a nothing burger.
Perhaps ignoring it being extremely controversial. Autism Speaks hates autistic people. For over a decade, Autism Speaks tried to find a cure for autism. They treated autism like it was some type of disease that could be cured.
You don't gotta cure autism, just toss them a Rubik's Cube or put them in a game of Osu and they'll be alright.
People therefore complained on Twitter, friendly reminder that while Jack Black is currently trending, he has donated to ableist and eugenicist organizations like Autism Speaks and Next for Autism that focus on fixing and curing autism, a neurological condition. He has also attended Autism Speaks galas, yet his audience gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I don't think any good faith person is gonna say that Jack Black is a eugenicist. Like, that's just ridiculous, and I certainly don't think that when he donated to Autism Speaks or attended the fundraiser, he was signaling that he wanted to control, alt-delete everyone who had the tism. In any case, it's good to see celebrities using their platform and their voice to support charities. Like, it sets a good standard, because even if Autism Speaks by itself is bad, he's leading by example, and maybe more people do charitable stuff because of it.
Maybe Jack didn't know it was a bad company, and was just trying to do something good and got duped. Just playing devil's advocate, what if he's unaware of the problematic issues. Jack Black seems like a decent person. This explains why he'd also give political opinions, but with his comments now reading, never get political, it always ends wrong.
I mean, it doesn't always end wrong. You gotta look at like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But if you're Jack Black and you want to go political, I think you have to say something so meaningless that everybody agrees with that people are gonna forget was even political in nature. Guys gotta say something like, war is bad. School shootings are bad. I also feel like the ebb and flow of politics makes it so that celebrities can say something political one year and they get hate for it, but if they say the exact same thing a little bit later, they won't. Jack Black got a lot of hate because he was supporting Biden in a very unpopular time to support Biden. If he said this in late 2019 leading into the 2020 election, he obviously would have gotten a lot more support. Ultimately, there is a grifting aspect to all of this. Like if you're a celebrity, you do have to grift in order to make sure that if you're saying something political, you want the majority of people to agree with you. Unless you actually care about an issue, but the reality is actually caring about something in the world of Hollywood and stardom and fame tends to hurt your career, so...
This had become a primary reason for the fall of his reputation. Now, Jack Black has always been politically outspoken, but would make his arguments subtle and funny in the classic Jack Black style. For example, in 2017, Tenacious D performed This Government Totally Sucks, in which they joke about Benjamin Franklin getting naked and smoking weed. Similarly, in 2020, Jack Black made his own commercial, stating it's time to be a hero with a mask. Not this kind, but this kind, before jumping headfirst into his pool.
This is exactly my point. When it's popular to tell people to wear masks and he does it in a funny way, there's not going to be that much, if any, pushback to this type of video. In retrospect, though, it is insane how that was so normal. Thank the Lord COVID is over with, bro. If not for the disease being the disease, for the fact that we no longer got celebrities telling us to mask up.
Videos like that were pretty smooth and inoffensive. However, by 2023, his political opinions were less about the comedy and significantly more direct. For example, he'd give his opinion on the Israel-Palestine war, for which he was heavily criticized to the extent that people called for a Kung Fu Panda boycott.
Now this is smart. This is forward thinking, because boycotting a children's movie will absolutely stop the warfare that's going on in the Middle East. To be fair, out of all the political things you could talk about, anything with active war is like probably the worst, especially if you're Jack Black. Maybe Jack Black has like a fire take on Medicare for all. I do see why people may not be the happiest when the dude who sang Peaches as Bowser from the Mario Bros. Movie wants to chime in on an ongoing bloody battle in the world. Jack Black, the majority of people know you from the roles you've played in movies, which is a distraction from the real world and meant to entertain people. So when you go on Twitter and you're just like signal boosting shit about a fucking war, people are gonna tell you, yeah, just put the Kung Fu Panda in the bag, lil bro.
When he shared an image reading climate change is a human rights crisis, the comments again weren't too positive. Goodbye Jack, you lost me there. Nobody needs you to guide them politically. You're a professional court jester. That's why we watch you. OMG, LMFAO, Jack Black, you've gone down the gutter. In the meantime, about half of his Twitter became political retweets, peaking in June 2024 when Jack Black endorsed the president.
A few days ago, my manager called me and said George Clooney and Julia Roberts wanted me to help out the president, and I said, I am in. When and where?
So there's a few issues with this. One, people in the Biden administration thought that Jack Black's endorsement would actually help them secure votes. And two, Jack Black's endorsement probably helped them secure votes. My brother in Christ, if you have seriously considered changing your vote because of the words of Jack Black, you just do not have a role in our democracy. You're benched. That's how this works. You're benched. That's it. You're on the sidelines. You can go to the polls and be in spectator mode. You know, you can just like look over people, maybe do some videotaping, journalism, whatever, but you're not casting a single one. You gotta love the way this tweet's phrased too. Breaking, Jack Black just delivered the strongest endorsement of Biden. The only thing these two have in common is their love for chocolate chip ice cream. Listen, I respect him getting his bag. I just think if Biden actually wanted to win, he would have just done what Trump did, which is go on Aiden Ross or Joe Rogan. You know, Jack Black is just, it's clearly not gonna work.
He proudly reposted the video to his Twitter, but with almost as many replies as the post had likes, it's safe to say his message didn't land so smoothly. Love your work, I just wish you didn't endorse anyone. Hollywood needs to stay out of politics. You are a part of a lot of people's childhood laughs. Now you're just a deadbeat sellout. What a shame. You've only alienated your fan base. We're here waiting for you to do better, although these were the more polite replies as they only got worse.
A lot of the people saying do better are just saying support Trump. I don't think there's many people that support Biden that are like, wow, he really should have kept his political opinions to himself. Whenever people tell celebrities to not be political, it's simply because they don't like their views. If it is their views, then it's like brave and empowering, but if it's not, it's cringe and it's a sellout. I do think, though, specifically with Jack Black, it's a little different. I think even if Jack Black went MAGA, like, bro, you're Jack Black. Like, you don't get to be political. You get to be goofy. Stick your tongue out and make a funny face. When that guy said you're a court jester, he was kind of almost on the money. Sheesh, bruh. Like, I don't even hate him, but it's just like, read the room a little bit, you know?
Over 15,000 people supported a response reading, add Jack Black to the list of pedo-wood elites. Repost if you aren't surprised. Numerous other memes pushed similar allegations, with another person straight up stating, here's an awesome tip. Stay away from the pedophile at Jack Black just because he endorsed a presidential candidate. A different fan expressed, I'm so beyond saddened by this political shilling. The word disappointing isn't strong enough, and I just attended one of your recent Houston shows. Well, never again, Jack. And in a poll asking, have you lost all respect for at Jack Black, 85% responded with yes.
Yeah, Twitter polls are generally a very good way to determine if something is true or not. I don't think anyone's ever lied on the internet. Specifically, a Twitter poll with under 1,000 votes, I think that's a pretty good indicator. I was joking. Listen, I don't hate the fact that this was used because at the end of the day, it does reflect what a lot of people were saying. But I think more accurately, just like look at the in-group. Like go to this guy's comment section on Instagram, and sure, you're gonna have the people that I mentioned earlier being cringe, saying something like, oh, Jack Black, you just lost a fan. But there will be genuine comments and insight from people that were once fans that have been turned off by this change.
Tenacious D, Jack Black's band, had been traveling the world on their spicy meatball tour. They'd been through North America, all across Europe, and had landed in Australia just 24 days after Jack's presidential controversy. They scheduled their second show in Sydney for bandmate Kyle Gass's birthday, celebrating on Instagram before the show started. This continued into the band's performance, which would lead to the following interaction.
Don't miss Trump next time.
The main issue with the joke is not that it's edgy. It's not even to do with the recency of the joke. Like, yeah, this was done right after the assassination attempt. I don't even think those two things matter necessarily as much as the fact that Jack Black was just propped up by the Biden administration to give an endorsement on behalf of them. So when you're given a platform to voice your endorsement by, like, the people in power, you gotta be on your best behavior afterward. Like, you cannot say anything remotely edgy, even if it's a joke, because you're now reflecting what they stand for. It's like if Aiden Ross, after the Trump stream, decided to start screaming the N-word, like, that would be very bad for Trump. Aiden would 100% apologize, and it would fuck up Trump's odds of winning the election. Forget that made-up Aiden Ross example. We saw this happen with Tony Hinchcliffe. This guy's a comedian, and he spoke at a Trump rally. He made a joke about Puerto Rico being a floating pile of garbage when, and you know, I'm Puerto Rican. Even though it's obviously a joke, you have a lot of left-wing political pundits saying that this is absolutely unacceptable, and Trump needs to disavow this, and this is a reflection of Trump, you know? So this is basically the same thing, except the joke is far edgier, saying that Trump literally needs to die. So it's pretty obvious to see why this is more divisive.
Mixed feedback immediately rolled in. Some people said that they're a comedy band that make dark jokes. It was a joke, they make jokes. JB and KG, they're good human beings with good intent, whilst others plainly stated, sorry Jack, but I'm out. One senator tweeted, there is no place in Australia for those who wish for the assassination of others, demanding that Tenacious D must be deported immediately.
It's not like they live there, like they're just going in, getting their bag, performing, and leaving. You're talking about deporting them, bro. They're already gone by the time you said that. Do we need a media release for this? Like, I'm sorry, I get you don't approve of the dude making a joke, but he's out of your country. Damn, Australian politics must be a real fucking snooze fest if this is the most that they're doing in a single day. The peak of their politics is deporting or threatening to deport Jack Black because he made a fucking joke on stage. This is how you know Sonny B2 is only in it for the money, which I support, by the way. He's literally Australian, yet has no inclination to chime in on this issue as an Australian. If I was running his channel, even if I'm doing the most like scripted content ever, I'd go off script and be like, you know, as an Aussie, and then like insert the take.
As a result, Kyle Gass apologized, writing the line I improvised on stage Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake.
He's wrong in thinking it's dangerous because no Jack Black fan is gonna get inspired by that joke to try to assassinate Donald Trump. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think best you'll get, and by best I mean the most effect this will have, dabble, maybe to cause someone to voice their opinion on Twitter as to how much they dislike Trump, and then watermark it at the end by saying, Jack Black sent me, Tenacious D owns you, lil bro, or some bullshit like that, right?
I don't condone violence of any kind, in any form against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologize to those I've let down, and truly regret any pain I've caused. Jack Black added I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form, but after rewatching the clip, people didn't buy it. Black was blindsided. He laughs when Kyle says it. He doesn't condone that kind of speech, but you see him laughing when the comment is made. Jack's apology continued. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold.
People are gonna say that he's overreacting and that he should not have thrown his friend under the bus for making a simple joke, like an off-color on-stage moment, but the reality is he's not the one who's chosen to make these responses. I would bet good money that the managers and the people that decide what he says and what he does sat him down for a meeting and said, listen bro, you're fucked if you don't make a response unequivocally denouncing what your friend said and canceling your tour, especially off the backs of that Biden promo. Like, you have to say sorry. So I don't think it's really his choice, and if it was, then he probably didn't have to apologize that hard. But to be fair, that week of the assassination attempts, like, everybody was on edge, so I can see why.
I'm grateful to the fans for their support and understanding. He'd stated in an interview 3 weeks later, we need to take a break. Everybody needs a break sometime and we'll be back, but it was already too late. Even those people who didn't mind the joke were disappointed by Jack's lack of support for his bandmate. Your friend of over 30 years says one bad throwaway joke that gets an overreaction. Like, have at least a bit of backbone and stick up for your friends. A different person said the weird thing with cancelling the Tenacious D tour over a bad Trump joke tells me yeah, dude cares more about money above all else now and will throw friends under the bus to maintain cash flow.
I think this guy cared about money above all else like years and years ago. I think his shift from like the normal guy that can relate to the normal human who takes a shit in the morning and, does the 2-finger survey on their balls to see how they're smelling, that probably took place a decade ago. Every single person in entertainment is a sellout to some extent, and the goalpost has shifted so far to like everyone being a sellout that if someone is only a little bit of a sellout, it's seen as them not being a sellout at all. I'm more surprised that people were surprised that Jack Black made a statement like this. Like, this is the most obvious thing that you would expect after a moment like that.
The public no longer gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Jack Black is the ultimate sellout clown,
which began to impact his future movies. I remember a time when seeing Jack Black in a movie excited me. Now I skip it completely. Borderlands got 10% on Rotten Tomatoes and has been considered one of 2024's worst movies. On the Dear Santa trailer, people criticized Jack Black just jumping on every movie these days, and nothing showed this better than his casting as Steve. There are many reasons why Minecraft's trailer has already gained over 1 million dislikes, the main one being, according to Forbes, the appearance of Jack Black as Steve, where he simply looks like everyday Jack Black in a blue shirt with his now signature wild hair and grey streaked beard.
I'm gonna say what the article is afraid to say. Jack Black is fat and has a huge beard and therefore does not work as Steve. You can take a lot of actors and just have them put on a blue shirt and they would work as Steve. Henry Cavill with a blue shirt would work as Steve. The reality is Jack Black just doesn't have the phenotype of Minecraft Steve. I think the reason it got backlash is not just because it's Jack Black playing Steve, but it's also like Jack Black in 2025 playing Steve. People have had it up to here with this motherfucker, and now you're gonna tell them that he's jumped on the movie that is representing a game that they cherish so much from their childhood. It's a bastardization. Like, this is almost worse than a race swap.
He could have said, I am Jack Black, and it would have made zero difference. They gave Jack Black a blue shirt and called it a day. People joke that the director should have instead been cast as Steve, leading Jack Black to respond to the hate. I just think the backlash we're getting is ridiculous, especially from grown men who don't get that this movie isn't just for them. It's for a new generation, yet it seems the new generation don't want it either. My son is a Minecraft kid in elementary school. He told me that when they heard it was live action, all of his friends declared it was total trash. This doesn't even appeal to the target audience. As a result, Jack Black's rapidly losing followers on every social media.
That's the gist of the video. I wouldn't say Jack Black has fallen off. I would say he's just like fallen out of favor. With this sort of stuff, all it takes is one banger movie and you're back. So if the Minecraft movie ends up being really good somehow with this guy as Steve, then I'm sure he'll get all the followers back and he'll be okay. But that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.